Written by Mustafa. Music. No matter which moment of our lives we look back on, a melody inevitably echoes in the background. Sometimes it's a folk song that reminds us of the warm summer evenings of our childhood. Sometimes a song that revives our first excitements. And sometimes a piano melody that silently accompanies our tears. Music, whether we are aware of it or not, is one of the most faithful companions on our journey through life. Sometimes a person cannot put certain feelings into words. They want to describe the storms raging within them, but sentences are incomplete, words insufficient. It is precisely at that moment that music begins to speak. The delicate and melancholic sound of a violin, the heart-stirring tone of a bağlama, a Turkish stringed instrument, or the bitterness in a human voice sometimes expresses in a few minutes what pages of words cannot. Because music reaches not just the ear, but directly the heart. Throughout human history, music has been an inseparable part of life. From the days when the first humans created rhythms inspired by the sounds of nature, to the present day, no era has witnessed the silence of music. It has become a symbol of hope in wars, a shoulder to carry longing on migration routes, a wing to joy at weddings, and the silent interpreter of sorrow at funerals. Humanity has changed, the world has transformed, civilizations have risen and fallen, and technology has advanced at a dizzying pace. Yet the invisible power of music to touch the human soul has remained unchanged. Perhaps that is why, wherever we go in the world, we can feel the melodies of people whose language we don't know. You don't need to speak the same language to understand a melody, because music is the common language of humanity. There is an invisible yet unbreakable bond between a child finding peace in a lullaby and an elderly person journeying back in time to a song from years ago. That bond is woven from the shared emotions of being human. The music of the East often invites one on a deep inner journey. The slowly rising melodies of the maqams remind us of patience, longing, surrender, and contemplation. Western polyphonic works, on the other hand, demonstrate that different voices can meet in harmony, conveying the aesthetics of living together and creating collaboratively. One depicts an introspective tranquility, the other a rising harmony. Yet both are different facets of the same truth. A human being cannot be complete without sharing their emotions. Life is sometimes tiring, sometimes heavy. Daily worries, endless anxieties, and uncertainties can even suppress one's own inner voice. At such times, we take refuge in a song we love. Before long, we feel the burden on our shoulders lighten, because music is not just an art we listen to. It is like an invisible friend that listens to us silently, understanding us without judgment. Every person has a song that has touched their life, left its mark on their destiny. A melody heard unexpectedly years later can take us back to our childhood at an unexpected moment. An old street, a face we loved dearly, a forgotten smile, or a time that will never return can come back to life with a single note. This is the greatest miracle of music. It can stop time. It can bring the past to the present and reawaken the emotions hidden in the deepest corners of our hearts. Music is not only an art that lives in the notes of composers or the voices of artists. There is music in the whispering of the wind with the leaves, in the rhythm of the rain falling on the window, in the waves crashing on the shore, in the songs of the birds that begin with the first light of dawn, and in the lullaby a mother sings to her baby. For those who know how to listen carefully, life itself is a grand and perfect symphony from beginning to end. Perhaps that is why humanity has not been able to give up music for thousands of years. Because music does not only offer us beautiful sounds, it gives hope, comforts, instills courage, and most importantly, makes us feel that we are not alone. Sometimes we find our own story in a song, and sometimes we share in the joys, longings, and sorrows of people we have never met. Thus we realize that we can understand each other, even without knowing each other. In the end, we understand that music is the most intimate conversation a person has with their own soul. When the heart's silent words are transformed into musical notes, what emerges is not merely a work of art, but one of the most elegant and universal expressions of being human. The world may change, ages may pass, people and cities may transform, but as long as humanity exists, music will continue to live on, because music is born in emotions before sounds. It rises from the heart, blends with time, and ultimately finds its echo in yet another heart.